Here's today's Life by Design with Dr. Dan Stanley.
Dan here, and this is Life by Design. I've been kind of messing around with church government here a little bit, thinking about it because I'm reflecting on how I would do things differently, or would I do them all the same from being a church planter and all that. But I think there's different forms of government, and I mean, you can set a church up any way that you see any form of government. What do I mean? Well, you could set it up as a dictatorship. You could have one guy make all the decisions. You could do that. And if that guy's a super godly person, you might not fare too badly. You could set it up as a democracy where the congregation decides everything. But here's the problem with that. To make good decisions, you got to have good information. And it's very difficult for the entire congregation to get all the information of like day-to-day operational things. It's very difficult. The congregation should be included and it should be transparent, but to let them make the decisions is very difficult, in my opinion. It can go wrong. You could set it up like a democratic republic or a constitutional form of republic like our country itself, but we'll get what we got. In other words, we'll be a lot of politicking inside the church. In other words, we've got one side over here called something and one side over here called something, and whoever has the most votes wins. You could do it that way, but that causes division too. So I think the primary objective, you could do an oligarchy. You could have a few people lead it, but I think looking scripturally at the overseers of the church, or the way that Paul had it set up, ruling elders, so to speak, and I think that's important to understand. Till I've heard this is Dan, just throwing some stuff out there. What's the right way to do this? Not only that, how does it take care of itself?
Dr. Stanley is an author, pastor, conference speaker, and the founder of International Growth Institute. He's dedicated to spiritual growth and helping God's people thrive. Learn more at internationalgrowthinstitute.com.